Hi, I'm Patrick van der Meer, Visualcoach, and this is Azure Websites 101. Alright, in the previous video we have added this authorize here on a controller method, and it's totally, well, let's say bullshit, BS, call BS. Uh, over here we need something else. We need actually an admin area so that if we're in there logged in as an admin, we can adjust little things like roles for users, to users. So how do we go about? Well, if you look at the whole structure of this website and all the folders that it has, that yes, you can just add another controller in here, and you will have more pages over here. And in the end, if you have a real big website with a lot of functions, it's gonna be a big mess. So we have something that's called areas, and if we just go to add and we'll go area, we can give it a name. So let's say this is our admin area and we call it dashboard, our dashboard area, or we call it the admin area, or we call it the backend. It's all the same, doesn't matter. It's just a name. You can use any name. So we have now an area backend, and that backend area will have its own subset for the controllers, for the pages, in this case the views, and you can see that right here. It's being built, it's being automatically added. So area backend, and we can have of course more areas in this under this folder. Backend has controllers, it has models, it has views, it has a shared folder, backend area registration. Okay, let's start there. So the backend area registration. This looks like the routing that we have in another folder, and that's the folder start. If you look at the route configuration, hey, we see the same type of shit. Alright. So we'll leave it like this. We don't need to do anything. We just now know that if it says backend first, that it will use then the controller and the action and the ID. In all the other cases, it will just go to the home controller, or actually, because the home controller is here configured as a default. Actually, not the home. I could do that, but oh well, it's here, right? Default home controller. So it doesn't know anything, and it doesn't have an in the address something that belongs to the separate area. It will always choose this route and ends up at home index without a parameter, because that's an optional. Okay, fine. Now what? Okay, so we need a controller. Otherwise we have no landing place for this. So let's go and let's add a controller. And let's do an empty controller. And this empty controller is going to have a name. And we call it, well, let's call it the admin controller. Very original name. I would suggest that you take better names than that, because the admin controller, you will not write 10,000 methods in there. So you will have more controllers for different functions on the back end that you're doing. Maybe something, if you are building a web shop or a blog, those would be like different controllers. Now we're just doing an admin. We're just doing a demo. So this admin has automatically one action method, but it doesn't have a page yet because we didn't do that. If we look at the views, we have an admin section, but there's no pages in there. So let's do a page, add a view. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's just do an add a view. Sorry, I will not take too many extra routes here. So and it has to use a layout page. Okay, so what's layout page is the fallback? Of course, the fallback layout is the one that is mentioned in the normal project. So let's show that. It's actually right here. Now there's a little trick that we can do. If we go in here and we say copy. That's a copy and paste. We can put it in this shared directory as for us too. So paste. And let's change it a little bit so we can see that this is different from the other one. This is the admin section. So that's in the view back. And it's also here in this part. Actually, I don't want to have it over here. I want to have a clear idea of where it is, but not in here. So what I'll do, I'll add another div. And I also have the class container. And if I would spell it right, it would be okay. And now, on top of this, so what it will do, this will make a separate bar on top of the menu bar for going back to the Azure websites. So actually, that is back. This is our back. All right. And that's in area nothing. Whereas all the other things that we do, let's say this is the dashboard. Did we call it backend, right? Backend. The backend, if you go to the backend index, then that is in the controller called admin. And that's in the area backend. So this link now will go back to that part. We'll leave the other ones, we'll leave them for now like this, okay? Let's not spend time on that now. So save it. Now, if I make a controller, it needs to know nothing. I can just make this controller and it will then just get the default layout. Well, this layout is not default. So we have to add something else. So in here we have a view start. Now let's open view start, and we say that view start gives a direction on where the layout is going. So this is called before any page. So let's copy this as well. And let's place this under view, not under shared, not under admin, just under view, and place it over there. And say paste. And now tell that this layout, oh, I'm clicking the wrong one, and this start view, that the layout is actually in the backend. And that's not right what I say. It's in the backend, but it needs to have, of course, it's in the area. And actually, if you look at it, it says not area, it says areas with an S. So it will look for it first in the areas, then in the backend, and then the view shared, and then the rest of the address is just the same. So now, when the admin controller is cooking up a page, it will start here. Now, navigation is everything. And you already saw that we seeded a role. And in this case, only people that are in a role of admin needs to end up here. Right, how do you do that? Well, in the original layout page, we have a menu. So we have the menu of logging in and logging off. So once you are logged in, then you would like to see a link that would bring you to the admin area. So how do you go about? Now, what we need, and let's do that not here. Oh well, actually, let's do it for fun. Let's do it in a login page. So once you're logged in, you will see this in the menu. And that's your log off and your manage links. Let's add another link. Let's copy this one. And let's make sure that this link will bring us to the backend. So it will bring us to the backend. Let's call that then like that. Actually, this is the name backend. And of course, you need to make it a string. The backend will go to the index page on the manage controller. No, not the manage controller. We need another controller. Our controller is named admin. And it has a root value new, because this thing resides somewhere in an area called backend. So now when I click this link, it will say, hey, I'll see this word backend, click on the word backend, it will bring me to the index method on the admin controller, which is in the backend area. Aha. So what else is here? Some attributes. No, we don't need those attributes. The best attribute that we need actually is just for the class. So that will just stay there. And now this is a button just like the other buttons where you need it. Alright, I think we're ready to try this, except that we only want to see this when we are logged in. So, you have seen that we can use the authorize in the controller. We're going to use the authorize over here. So we add an add sign, and then we can write some razor code, or actually just C# code. And an if the user is in role. Which role? The role of admin. Only then show this part of the menu. So what's going wrong over here? We'll figure that one out. I was just being stupid, of course. This is not written like this. You have to just tell in which role it would be. It could be actually several roles. You could do a comma in here and have another role in between those same signs over there. So now we have a check on the admin. Let's run this. And then we're set up to do a lot. Actually, we didn't protect that controller. We'll do that. We'll do that also. So let's first see if the menu is working. So here is the page. I hope I'm not automatically logged in, otherwise I'll log off. Okay, yeah, log in. And if I log in, let's log in as user first. User 1. And user 1 had a password. So if this user is logged in, he's not in the role of admin. He will see no change on all of this. So why would I be transported back to the login page? Because the software in this stage wanted actually to go to all the new pages, and it was not allowed. So hey, so here we are. Login as Joe the admin, and Joe the admin, when he logs in, has an extra button. Yay, backend. And if he clicks that, he's going to be transported to a page called index in this area. I bet we forgot to build the that page, right? Yeah, we didn't build the page, so that page is not there. Let's do that quickly, and let's also protect the controller. So how do we get that page there? The easiest way is just to go to the controller and say, hey, listen, give us a view with the name index, wherever you want to place it. Just do that. So now we have an index page, and let's also protect the controller, and we'll we protect it from the start. So we put it above the class name. So we have authorize, and we'll only authorize it if you're in the role of admin. So, like it or not, you're never going to see these pages if you're not the admin. You never see the link when you're not the admin. Let's try it again. And then we're almost done for this part. And we're going to build a lot. We're going to build some methods to give roles to users. Right, so I'm logged in. I can go to the backend. Now we have a page. And what you also see is that there is a bar above here with the Azure website. So this is my way back, because backend will bring me to this page. That's what we set up in the menu, in the layout that we put in the area for the and this normally brings us back. If I click it now, nothing happened. It will just bring me back over here. Backend, back over here. Okay, let's see what happens when I log off. Then this button is gone. Okay, and logging off, of course, we didn't handle the routing when logging off properly. So we have to correct it. Let's do that quickly. So we have in the normal shared, so we have the project, and we had all these normal pages and folders right here. One is was viewed, and there was the layout. And in the layout we had a partial called login partial, and this partial we added this link in for the admin. And when we did this, we told explicitly that it has to go back to the area backend if it wants to go to the backend. Alright, but we did not do that for all the other parts. So if we're in that area and then we use this, it thinks it stays in the area. So we have to tell it that whenever you are here, then don't forget that you have to go back to area nothing to get things done. Alright, so you have to do this for this link if you want to manage your account. You have to do it for logging off. That's an interesting one, because now you have to figure out how to work with JavaScript and all of this. Well, don't worry, we'll do that in a second. And we have to go in here, so we'll do it here. It has to tell where it goes. This is the beginning of the form, right? So if you log off, it needs to know if you send a request, in this case a post or form, go back to this area. Done. So now the whole JavaScript logout form, the ID here, it will just point us to the right point. Until further, nothing to do with this, nothing to do with this, nothing to do with this. It's done. So let's see what's more is here. Same over here. Actually, this is a bit stupid, because you're never gonna log in at the at this part. But just for clarity, you might need to use this when you do an other type of area where the people are not restricted. So let's do that. And now everything is handled. Let's see if I'm speaking not with a split tongue. So let's go back. Are we still logged in? Refresh this page. Yes, we are. And everything was still running. So see, this was still running. So we can just try again. Let's we refreshed. We can go to those pages. We can go back to the Azure website. We can go to the back side. We can go back. Yeah, everything. We're done. We're in business. Okay, let's log off now. And we get the same error. So what am I'm doing something wrong, obviously. So it wants to go back to the back end. No, it should not go there. So I still didn't tell to go there. Why not? I didn't save this stupid page. Okay, let's save the stupid page. Alright, and let's go back to the web page. And where are you? Here you are. This is if you have the code running and you're doing stupid things, you'll get stupid results. Let's go backend. So we're back. This page was saved. It's refreshed. Alright. Refresh it again. Just to make sure. Now when I press that button, I want this to work. Oh! Boom! it works. So if you forget about all the stupidity, you can get this to work. See you in the next video. Continue to the next video in this series right there, or get the whole playlist right there. And of course, don't forget to subscribe just here. Subscribe.